That's one way to start it.
God. Okay, all right. Quiet, you knuckleheads. Okay. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Parlor Card Podcast, where we have a huge number of people here tonight.
I feel so sorry for those that stumbled in upon us.
Yeah,
I apologize in advance.
Okay. So you got me, Steam Tank. You got Spiral Force. Mecha
We don't
Flyer.
offer refunds. I'm sorry.
You got Gary, the editor. You got AceBriggs6.
Hey-o!
You got Silver Streamliner, who is in here somewhere.
What's going on?
And you got Rave Blitz.
Hello?
The stream
You got
crasher.
Hair Buffers, who is still trying to get in here somehow.
I blame the First Order.
And yes, so without ado, welcome to the Parlor Card Podcast, and I will have Gary take it from here.
You got us so boned.
Hello, everybody, and Steam Tank took my original introduction, so now I'm sad.
You just take everything else from him.
Hello, darkness.
That's one way to do it.
friend. Okay, I'm redoing what Steam Tank did. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Parlor Card Podcast. We've got Steam Tank, who's dead because he's not responding to me.
That is Steam Tank's stomach, everybody.
He's a zombie. Okay, we got
We're all zombies.
Spiral Force.
How did I get here?
Ace of Spades. Ace de Random.
Am I a cat?
Yes.
Can I pet you? Can I pet you?
Yes. We got Mecha Flyer.
Hi, I guess. I don't know.
That works.
Okay.
Next.
We got Silver Streamliner.
Do Svadonia, comrades.
Those were done.
Goodbye.
And we got Rave Blitz, the Stream Crasher from last podcast. He's back again.
If you have to travel by the night divine, stay on the roads. It's the danger, you see.
Kylo Ren is best Star Wars character.
That's not how you spell Jason Solo.
Of course not, because he's not canon. I am a horrible human being, and I regret nothing.
Okay, so the first lineup of topics that I got tonight, not tapping.
Hold up. I hear somebody's playing a YouTube video off their own thing. So if you're gonna do that, put your headphones on your computer. Otherwise, you'll be hearing an echo from a YouTube video.
Yeah, no echoes.
We're hearing YouTube for YouTube. It's YouTube section, right?
Yes, yes, we did. Yes, we are.
The heck was that just now?
My inner demons.
SpaceX.
Okay, well, tell your inner demons to shut up.
They can't.
They're not wanted right now.
I'm having a tea party with them. He brought crumpets, but none for you.
All right. So the first topic that I have, the crumpets. The first topic that I got. Okay. Got quiet. Okay. The first topic that I got we can talk about. You guys want to talk about, let's see. You want to talk about last night, the dinner that we did? Or do you want to talk about MLP?
MLP.
How far in MLP?
Yeah, because you got to specify that.
Okay. I think what's acceptable is like the most recent actually aired episode, which I believe it's the one where the Kurans appear.
I thought the finale already ended.
It did, but not fully officially aired here in the U.S.
But it's still officially though.
Yeah, not American.
I haven't seen the finale, so
I've seen everything already because it's already been leaked and stuff. So I'm okay with anything. But I only talk about the episode that currently aired for America, which I believe it's a Kieran episode.
I believe yesterday was the dragon, Spike's quote-unquote father.
Oh, that.
Oh boy.
Spike's father. Wow.
Yeah.
I knew that was completely false. I knew it.
Okay, so who wants to start off?
Not the father.
Okay, let's see. Spiral Force. How about your thoughts on the Kieran? Oh, is that how you say it? The one
Kieran's, yeah. I like what they did. Got a little bit of no, not Japanese, Chinese culture into this.
Best episode ever, in my opinion.
Broadening out the world of Equestria.
By the way, real quick, one of our viewers just kindly said that Father Knows Beast, the Spike X episode, is the one that currently aired this weekend.
Okay, so that's the episode that's safe to talk about up until then. Okay.
Yeah, while you guys talk about that episode, I am going to try to help Buffers to get in here.
You do so. Okay, but yeah, the Kieran episode I liked, and props to that the one Kieran. Excellent singing voice. Also the references. I mean, even I recognize Citizen Kane and all that. Dude, Phantom of the Opera. Props.
Yes.
Props.
Yeah.
That was great.
Arguably, I'm going to have to say that that's probably the best song of Season 8.
Wait, hold up. Did something just pop up? Wait. Hold on. Buffers.
Yeah.
Wait. Buffers. Can you hold up. Buffers, can you hear us? Or can we hear you?
Right now, his microphone's muted. He has to unmute it on his end in order for himself to talk.
Okay, but that means he can hear us. Okay, everybody. 1, 2, 3.
I can hear you.
Oh, wait, good.
It's Buffers.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, wailing that.
This went from like audience to like Dawn of the Dead.
When I first joined, all of your moans just sort of came in all at once. So
Yeah,
that was the idea.
It sounded like you were having some sort of gross orgy or something to that.
Good Lord.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh god.
Anyway,
First Teeth audience applications.
Anyway, Sir Editor Getty,
Yes.
your cue to do the lineup.
Okay, so we did Spiral Force, and now let me see. Rave Blitz. How was your thoughts on the episode?
I thought it was fantastic. Honestly, I thought that was probably the best episode of Season 8, aside from the one with the students. Arguably, that's the best episode I've ever seen.
Okay.
Wait, we're talking about
even though Twilight wasn't in it, it was still good.
Yeah, even though Twilight wasn't in it. Yeah.
That's why the episode was good, because Twilight wasn't in it.
Shut up.
Exactly.
I regret nothing. Besides, it's got Mecha Flyers and my best ponies in there, so we cool.
Besides, there was good episodes of Sanford and Sons without Fred Sanford, so let's just leave it at that.
Hey, those freaking references to wait, what was the other thing? Hey, that was references to Citizen Kane in that episode. That was actually pretty cool.
I didn't see it.
That's okay.
Even I got the reference. Even I only saw the movie once at school.
I have never seen Citizen Kane. I am so sorry.
That's one of the best movies ever made.
Rose.
Only one word for you, Rose. Bud.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as me.
I know that part. But I haven't seen the rest of it.
Well,
I'm sorry,
as for
podcast or TCM.
oh my god. Anyway, as for the Spike episode, Father Knows Beast, I thought that was kind of funny actually, because this dragon looks almost like Spike, in terms of shape wise, but I mean, there were key elements to him that I felt like doesn't even resemble Spike at all.
The moment I first saw the gun, like, nah.
Yeah. It didn't do it for me.
And then his story, I'm like, yeah, I can see the plot holes.
It didn't make sense.
None of it made sense.
Well, you know the reveal.
I felt bad for Spike.
Spike needs more love.
Yeah, he does. He does. But I will tell you this, that when he did say, Spike, I'm your father, I'm in bed, half asleep, watching this episode at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then after he says that, it cuts to commercial. And I'm like, wait, what? What? What?
Did he have a James Earl Jones voice?
I know what he's doing. He's doing my catchphrase.
Yes, Jerry Springer.
Now, but I keep saying what through the entire commercial break, and they keep getting louder and louder. And then my dad says, "Are you all right?" And he comes into my room. I was like, "What?" That was like the biggest mind blown of my. I don't know. Even though it wasn't true, I was like, "What?" Oh my god, that was.
Hey, I was flabbergasted as well when I heard this. Oh, it's every episode of Spike's parents. I'm like, hold the F up. What? Is this really happening? No.
Nope.
So is the headcanon over? Are we going to get something? Okay, so we can still keep our headcanons because that was.
Honestly, I was kind of disappointed that wasn't actually Spike's dad.
Yeah.
Because you could have had an arc in that episode where the dragon actually apologizes for his actions in the end, and then Spike forgives him, and then all is good.
Yeah, well, that may be true.
But no, they had to play it off as, oh, he's not really the father. I'm like, oh, that was kind of a waste.
Which means the options are still on the table and see who could be his parents if they ever go that far.
Yes.
I mean, we've already covered the main 6 and their family, so that's pretty much done.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this entire season has been good, but kind of disappointing at the same time.
Okay, random headcanon. Spike is the 4th dragon of the 3 dragons from Game of Thrones.
Oh god! Wait, wasn't there like an actor who recently passed away? Or am I thinking of the wrong show?
Game of Thrones. It was the gentleman who played Herschel in Walking Dead.
Okay, 2 shows I have never seen in my life. Okay, that makes sense.
Walking Dead's actually kind of amusing.
Walking Dead is boring.
I like it when it's called High School of the Dead.
Walking Dead is shit. Game of Thrones is the bomb. Booyah.
Cool. Yeah.
Never seen any of them. Never seen The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones.
Just play Skyrim and you'll be good on
Game of Thrones is the plot of Walking Dead, like in the North at least. So like Middle Ages Walking Dead kind of.
I haven't seen them, but I probably will when they're in syndication. I think Walking Dead is already, isn't it done, or is there?
No, there's one more. Wait,
no, there's one more series.
Walking Dead just premiered their season 9 as of tonight.
Oh, so it's not done yet.
No.
Oh, that makes sense.
It will never be done.
Because they're dead.
AMC wants to turn it into basically like this whole franchise with more series, because they've already got a 2nd series called Fear the Walking Dead, which takes place in like Texas, I think now.
Yeah, it's a spinoff, isn't it?
It's a spinoff in the same universe.
Yeah.
There's another one. There's another series they're trying to get going. I don't know what it's called yet. And supposedly they also want to do a movie.
What else is new?
And eventually turn it into like a franchise, like how Star Wars, Star Trek, all those series are.
Really?
I totally disagree with this chart.
I don't know if there's enough romanticism in a bad zombie plague future to generate some sort of bigger world out of it.
I disagree with this chart.
Especially with the world already being dead. Well, good portion.
Well,
of the
there
population.
is a solid fan following, but it's like, their main actors are leaving the show. Andrew Lincoln, the guy who plays Rick Grimes, the main character, has announced that he's leaving the show after the season. So
It's going to be a
That's
good thing
kinda
for
where
him
you're gonna
because it's going to be a good thing for him because of him leaving. He's got a lot of opportunities that are going to open up for him.
Yep.
well, there's that too. But my theory is that when he first took the role, his wife was having a baby, and so for the past 9 years, he's been
Oh no!
doing the
Yeah.
show 6 months out of the year. So, I think he's trying to find an opportunity to finally be a proper
Spend time with
father.
his family like he should.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, with all the time spent on that TV show, his family's going to be financially secure for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, he's solid. He'll be living off of royalties at least for the next 20 years.
Don't be
he'll be
dissing
good.
my strawberry.
I don't know what the hell is.
Okay.
Not gonna question that, but okay.
Go look at Parlor
You're on the
Card
Parlor Card podcast. It's everything in here winds up becoming random after a while.
Go look in the Parlor Card chat, and you'll see why.
The Parlor
Okay,
Card
hang
chat.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me
See,
see.
that's the thing, because we can see the Parlor
Oh.
Card chat, but our viewers can't, so they have no idea
Whatever,
what's
you
going on.
pony. Winter is
Oh.
coming.
Yeah, I can actually do that.
And before copyright infringement, winter is coming.
Well,
boy.
there goes a podcast. GG, everybody.
My Hero Academia.
Wait. No, I know how to counter that copyright.
Also, just
Here,
a
of
heads
course.
up.
Commentary.
What the heck's up?
Actually,
we
I
do
think
have
the rule is you could use a character in an unlicensed fashion with commentary. The commentary is why Sparkle's making fun of Ned Stark. There.
All right,
We're
well,
good.
we're already screwed. We're already screwed in Europe because of their new their anti-meme philosophy.
How does
Yeah.
that?
That's
Does
so
anybody
stupid.
know how that really works in Europe? How do you police that sort of thing?
I don't
It
know.
has to do with copyright.
They police everything.
Do they just have a security cop behind everybody's door and stuff near a computer the moment
No,
the
you-
meeting is knocked in?
No. It's a penguin with the police hat and a billy club. No memes.
Oh, that one. And then if they see memes, they hit them with bags of frozen tea at their faces.
Something like that.
It's soggy biscuits.
Actually, you guys are all wrong. I'm taking a class on this in European politics. I know what's going on.
What's going on?
It's not a penguin doing that. It's Angela Merkel doing that.
What's the difference?
I thought it was just some guy with a t-shirt cannon.
Does she look?
No memes.
Does she look extremely bored and annoyed doing it the whole time? Because honestly, every time you see a picture of her, she looks extremely bored at whatever it is she's doing, like completely faceless. I've never seen an unenthusiastic world leader until I've seen Angela Merkel. I mean, if you look at photos of Xi Jinping of China, he's like, he actually smiles. Well, then again, his name is in their constitution, so that's a lot to be smiling about personally for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Angela Merkel, come on, just smile. Smile.
You sound like everybody else.
When the Gote said I was having
Everybody
any
else
Bye.
tells me to smile in a photo.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Don't remind me of that video.
I mean, I think the reason is this, like everyone in Germany,
Describe the
everyone in
texture
Germany
of their
is so upset
magical
with Angela
fur.
Merkel. Even Angela Merkel's upset with
Smile.
Angela Merkel. Maybe
Guys.
maybe Pinkie Pie should visit Angela Merkel.
Guys, go look at the Parlor Card chat
Okay.
and see what I just posted.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just in case nobody saw this, don't go off topic too far too soon.
Okay,
right
sorry,
now.
we
There'll
just
be
got
time for that later.
Too late. We're already
Because-
outside of the solar system.
Well, unfortunately, there are other things we got to talk about. Because one, we got to talk about recent projects, and two, we got to talk about recent events.
Nippon.
And not only that, but once we get done with those, then we get into the drunken stupors, which is pretty much anything and anything can go.
Oh.
So,
Well,
All right. So what's next?
I would like
Question.
to say, let's go towards events.
well, if I have one event, well, it's not really an event, but it is
A gathering.
It is a anniversary, I might say.
Wait, when
Anniversary.
when did you get married?
No, I didn't get married, silly.
He was married to the
For
first.
He
for
finally
those,
married Nick Wilde.
He married his
I'm
whole
Married
life.
to America.
this isn't Drunken Scoopers, guys. Let's be serious.
I know.
So what did the fox say? I do.
Shut up.
So that's what
Anyway.
his tulpa is.
Okay, so
What is it?
for
Ray?
those who are fans of Angry Joe, this month was his I believe 15th anniversary.
Aw.
Okay.
Let me play the saddest song on the world's smallest violin.
This is so sad. This is so sad. Alexa, play.
Oh,
this
sorry,
music, though.
my mistake. It was his 10-year anniversary.
So I actually know somebody here who actually has a very big event story to tell. That is Buffers.
Nippon.
Oh yeah.
Take it
Why
away.
don't you tell us and everybody about it?
Are you sure you don't want me to go last? Because I have a lot to say.
No,
I
that's
would
why
say
I wanted to go.
let's just go ahead and do it because we have like a while. So
Spoiler
go ahead.
alert. There are no
Okay.
subtitles over there.
Okay. Well, yes. I just
Take it
got
away.
back. I just got back from a big trip to Japan.
Nice.
And the first thing I can open up with saying is that everything that we know about that country never being there has been a lie, and there's been a lot of misinformation about that country.
Oh boy.
There's
It's
no
actually,
subtitles.
it's actually, well, actually, Carlo, the Japanese are very accommodating to foreigners. There's a lot of English signs, and when you go to their train stations, a lot of the stations and instructions are called out in English as well. And even if you look at the station lines on the subway, if you look at the routes on the subways and in the municipal trains, when it shows like where each town goes, they usually do have the name of the city that's subtitled right below it. So it's very
Nice.
accommodating.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, and when I was there, everybody was very nice, very friendly, very welcoming to foreigners. I didn't once run into one restaurant or establishment that did not allow any foreigners or anything like that. And if that does happen, that'll happen like maybe in like smaller.
It'd be in smaller
towns.
provinces outside of
outside.
economic hub.
Yeah, but I didn't. But to be honest, I didn't see anything like that. The only two restaurants where I was denied entry, one of them, they said they were full, and I looked inside, and yeah, they were legit ass to elbow full. Yeah, and the other restaurant that I went to was before I walked in, I saw a whole bunch of suits walk in like they owned the place, and the guy outside told me that reservation only, sorry, and I believed it because of all the people that went in. But other than that, that was the only instances where I was barred entry from something. But everywhere else, I was so welcome, and everybody was so
That's
kind
awesome.
and respectable.
So you're saying Japan does have English subtitles?
In a nutshell, yes, a lot of places do have English subtitles, but only where they expect there's going to be a lot of foreigners.
Does that include when you talk to people?
No.
Damn it.
When you talk to people, if you don't know a lick of their language, you're screwed.
Good thing I watch enough anime.
So no. To be honest, not even that is going to help you if you go over there. The best thing to do is to look up some basic phrases that they use over there and some terminology, and you'll be fine. Or go with a buddy who knows a little bit of the language, which was what I did.
I know a buddy of mine who is fluent in Japanese, so I'm going to be dragging him with me everywhere I go over there. Probably in handcuffs or something. But yeah, I'm not letting this guy go. He's my walking translator.
Has he ever been there?
Does being born over there and living for like 5 years count?
Yes, it does.
Okay, then there we go. Cool stuff.
All right, then you should be fine.
I have one question about Japan.
What is it?
Okay.
Is it true that you can walk around in cosplay there?
Okay,
yes and no.
I will get to that.
Yes and no.
I will get to that. But But yeah, regarding the people over there, they're very nice, very friendly. And no, I didn't. I'm just going over the the false information stuff. I didn't see a single dirty vending machine. I think you all know what I'm talking about.
We don't have to say anything.
Not
well,
one.
that's the thing, because Japan is very, it's very organized. You have your select areas that may have that, but it's not common.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that in a minute, but yeah, no, I didn't see anything like that either.
Sorry, go ahead.
The other thing that I didn't see, I know they exist, but I didn't see the guys who push people into the trains. Didn't see anything like that.
Were you on any of the crowded trains?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was, but I didn't see any.
Also, I actually was watching a video on 10 things not to do in Japan, and one of them is blow your nose publicly.
That's kind of goes for anywhere. You probably just like here. You don't want to do that. You don't even want to do that here. I'll be honest.
Question for you. Is it true that when you buy something, you have to you're not supposed to actually literally hand them the money directly, to put it down somewhere and then they pick it up and stuff?
Yes, that is true. You put it in a tray.
I thought so. I thought that was real.
You know how in Philippe, the same exact thing.
And exactly the same thing for the jungle over there.
You put the money in the tray, and then they take it and they give you your change in the same tray, and then that's it. You don't hand it to them directly.
Is it true that it's actually frowned upon if you actually leave a tip?
Yes, oof. I didn't leave one. I didn't leave a single yen of tip, and you're not supposed to.
Thank God, something with better culture.
They actually find it insulting.
They don't. You don't have to do that because their government doesn't tax the living mess out of their employees. I mean, wait staff are taxed in accordance to the government saying that, okay, for every transaction that you served, you receive 20%, no matter what. So the government taxes wait staff accordingly in this country, and it's really messed up.
America, you suck.
Yeah, but over there, no such thing.
Most restaurants here, they pay their wait staff based off of the premise that they're assuming that the wait staff is going to make tips.
Yes.
So actually their wages are lower and they're more dependent on tips. Whereas in Japan, they pay a regular wage regardless.
Right.
And it's the whole act of tipping is frowned upon because they expect to give you good service.
Okay, but I tell you one thing though, I did leave some money once, and that's because I'll get into the rest of the details later, but I met up with a neighbor of mine who spent a lot of time living here, and then she moved over there with her son so that her son can retain Japanese citizenship.
Ooh.
Anyway, she had to pay for parking when she took us to the train station. I felt obligated, so I left some money in her car. She emailed me about it and said thank you. And she said thanks for the tip, and I was like, "Oh no, wait! I wanted to make sure that I left that because I felt obligated because because she was driving us around, she had to park and had to pay for that. Yeah. So I was like, oh man. So yeah, that's why I left some money. That was the only time. Yeah, that was the only time.
Fair.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Okay.
Is it true you have to bow instead of shake?
Yes. And yes and no.
But I didn't shake hands with anybody except Matsumoto-san. But as far as bowing, yes, you do bow, but it's only a little bit. You don't bow a whole lot unless it's a
corporate, the big shots.
Unless it's a significant transaction that happened between you and the other person.
Interesting.
Well, it's a level of respect.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff is respecting honor over there.
Yes. Well, yeah, and you see a lot of that because you see, because I'm not fluent in the language. Because I wasn't fluent in the language. I didn't verbally understand a lot of that, but physically, what I saw is how respectful the people are to one another. They're very
Yeah.
accommodating. Like they won't take up multiple seats on a subway or anything like that. They won't. They especially don't man spread over there. Yeah, they don't do that, which is a good thing. It's actually really rude to do that anywhere because you're essentially occupying more space than you need on public transportation.
That kind of reminds me. Did you ever see that video of that chick who was just like pouring water all over the dude's crotches?
That was more than water. That was more than water. There was bleach in there too.
I saw that while I was in Japan. I saw that video, but after I saw that video, I was looking around, and even before, I didn't see anybody manspread.
Yes.
Yeah, that's mainly a U.S. thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of gross.
It's kind of sad. Well, that's the problem with the U.S. in general, is we tend to go around thinking we own everything.
Yeah, and over there, it's more or less what's mine is yours, and please take a look at what I have. Everybody there is very willing to share everything, which is
I love
commendable.
it. If you drop trash on the ground, you pick it up because that's what's expected. And if you don't pick it up, somebody else will pick it up for you and go, "Hey, sir, I'm sorry you dropped this." You know, it's just one of those things where
over there, the streets were clean enough to eat off of. I didn't see hardly any trash anywhere.
Learn something, America.
I actually have another question. Is there homeless in Japan?
Is there what?
Is there homeless people in Japan?
Yes, there was. But a very small handful. The most interesting thing that I saw that was related to a homeless person or vagrancy in general was I saw a drunk man who was in the subway platform. But wait, as soon as the rail personnel staff noticed him, they scooped him up and escorted him right out of the subway as quickly as possible because they didn't want to risk him falling onto the tracks and causing a delay or problems, or even they just didn't want him to get hurt at all. Damn. So they scooped him up and they took him right out as quickly as possible. Like he rushed him out. Yeah,
I'm just curious how the homeless are actually treated in Japan in general.
The homeless, well, I didn't spend enough time with them to really understand it, but what I did see was just like anywhere, they're largely ignored. But the one thing that I noticed is that even the homeless are somewhat accommodating because they don't have a whole bunch of junk with them or anything like that, and they didn't crowd too much of the area they were temporarily occupying. Yeah.
One question as well, and I asked this from my father having been over there in the past on business trips. He said that at the airport, when the plane is departing, every single time without fail, the ground crew would line up and essentially wave off the plane as it was pushed back.
I didn't see that. But I do have an airport experience.
Oh dear.
When I was I had a layover in China. That was kind of easy. The airport staff were very friendly over there, and the TSA was even kind of friendly, except for one guy I pissed off because I left my battery. In my baggage, and he handed me my bag aggressively and said "battery" because he wanted me to take it out and make sure that he wanted me to take it out. Yeah, I know. He's probably a Metallica. He was probably a Metallica fan
Every
too.
deal I ever heard of.
So yeah,
China.
You know, no, I'm just gonna be like that randomly to people from now on. I'm just gonna walk up to them and be going like, "battery," and they'll be like, "What the?"
And they're gonna get your ass whooped.
I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in having my ass whipped by the Chinese TSA. So yeah, I did take the battery out of the backpack and had it scanned separate because they wanted everything out of the backpack before they scanned it again.
Well, most TSA is like that. When you go through an airport in America, they usually will have you take a lot of certain things out. Like they don't want, if you're going to put like a backpack through the machine,
yeah, they want
a
everything out of
it.
it.
They'll make you take your laptop and the charger out, put it in a separate tray.
Yeah, that's true. I saw the exact same thing. They wanted your entire backpack completely empty, The only thing I left in there were just like were just wired chargers. They didn't care about that. But
Yeah,
going
because they
back to
can determine what that is.
going back to my airport experience, the Chinese airport was just easy. I didn't have to carry my luggage. They just transferred it onto the next plane. When I got into Narita, though, now that was interesting. The best way to describe that airport was the spaceport in Solo.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was the best way to describe it because everybody was being shoved into certain areas. They were very quick about it, and they're like, "Foreigner, foreigner, go over here, foreigner, over here, blah blah blah," and the citizens over here, and they're just moving everybody around and like where they're supposed to be very quickly and some a little bit rudely, by the way they were doing it by our standards. But the reason why they were doing it because they wanted everybody to be processed in and out as quickly as possible. So
yeah, that's the thing too, because we may see that as rude. To them, it's just
another day.
They're taking care of
business.
business.
To them, it's just business.
Wait,
But
what is business?
but yeah, no, but no, that's what I noticed is that it was pretty much like the spaceport in Solo, where the stormtroopers were really rude and pushing everybody around.
Sounds about right.
Yellow taxi cop, please.
There was another thing that I skipped on.
16 run Ramada Inn. Get the change.
Oh, that's from the terminal.
All right, reference.
I was thinking about that song from the movie when I was walking through the terminal. But yeah. But as far as Japan, like going into like, okay, there's the subculture part. All of the anime, all of that stuff is all in the video game stuff. There's like what we're led to believe. There's not an anime shop on every single street corner of anything like that. What there's actually more of is like restaurants. They're everywhere. You can't go anywhere without running into one on every corner. Same as 7-Eleven. They're everywhere.
There's a practicality to restaurants.
Yeah, I know, but anime shops, no, not so much. I didn't see too many of them outside of Akihabara.
What about people wearing cosplay everywhere?
I'm gonna get into that. So, but as far as Akihabara, that's a ward in Tokyo where that's where all the anime and video game stuff is located. And yes, I did see cosplayers, and yes, I was a cosplayer there myself.
Nice.
Yes, I walked around as Hatsune Miku. You've never seen my outfit? It's like a male spin on it. It's actually pretty cool.
It's very common, actually. You see the male spin off.
Yeah.
Just thinks Miku, but not a skirt, but the pants and the short hair. That's about it.
Is it the gender bent? It's called Mikuo or something.
Mikuo, yeah. There's an O. Mikuo. There's an O at the end of Miku.
Yep, that's it. So I was walking around like that. So I was walking around like that in Akihabara, and I noticed that was the only time where I actually got looked at, because if you're just walking around, the people will totally ignore you anywhere that you go over there. They just, in fact, here's another good story that segues into that. I went to a jazz club in Ikebukuro, and there was this one girl who was singing there, and I was actually talking to her too, and a little bit, language barrier. So anyway, me and my friend Mike were on the same subway train, and she got on. But when she got on, she was looking down the whole time. Social mode was completely turned off.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, it's just curious. What was the name of that jazz club?
Absolute Blue.
That's very Cowboy Bebop, I gotta say. It really is.
My friend Mike is a musician, and he was inspired by the music from that show to pursue his music career.
Yoko Kanno is an incredible. Yoko Kanno is an incredible.
Who doesn't? It's
composer.
great.
It's an amazing anime. It's probably one of the best, if not the best.
So, but yeah, as far as people when they're walking around, they just completely shut off, and they're on their. And when you're on the subway train, when I was riding, everyone was on their phone. You've never seen anything like that. Well, you probably have here, but more so everybody on the train was on their phone. But anyway, going back to my cosplay experience, yeah, that was the only time where the general public, looked at me. Oh, look at Gaijin, is Miku, something, I don't know. What a weirdo.
That sounds fun, right?
But yeah, I did see a handful of other cosplayers too. I saw some Lolitas and stuff like that, but that was about it. Not too many, as you would
Lolita's a
think.
whole subculture, so
I know, but I didn't see.
That may or may not be a cosplay,
Right, and what I'm trying to say is that you didn't see too much of that when I was in Akihabara. I was like maybe one of very few who were doing that. But I tell you one thing though, I did go to a maid cafe dressed like that. And by the way, my experience in a maid cafe is it was so sweet that I swear to God, I thought I was gonna die of diabetes if I stayed in there any longer. but no.
Wait, no shit. I'm sorry.
And that's the other way to dispel that other rumor. Maid cafes are actually very respectable organizations. They're cosplayers, but they're doing it for a living, and what their job.
You can do cosplay for a living?
Maid. That's what they do at maid cafes. They cosplay for a living. That's what they get paid for.
That's amazing.
Well, yeah, that's what they do.
That's awesome.
So they were really nice at the maid cafe, and and when I showed up dressed as Miku, it like absolutely made their day. They loved it.
Yeah, I could imagine that. That's
no, and the reason why is because sometimes every now and then dreary people go in there, like people who aren't enthusiastic about it, and it's like, and you ask yourself, why are you going to go there if you're not going to? It's like going to Disneyland and not, being happy.
yeah.
Yeah, why would
you've never gone to Disneyland angry?
Going
to Disneyland angry is hilarious.
Okay, does crying count if I was a baby?
No, it doesn't. Because you're a baby. You have no control of your emotions yet.
Like every other adult right now?
One of these days, I'm going to go to Disneyland and I'm going to meet Nick and Judy. One of these days.
They're at California Adventure, and when I went with Maggie over 2 weeks ago, we only saw Judy.
Oh, well.
Yeah, Nick was out. He was sick. But anyway.
I don't to actually bother to go.
I'm going to sound like weird, but like I would someday love to get Judy Hopps' autograph or some shit. Just actually meet her in the park. That'd be so cool. I've always wanted to do that.
You have to go to California Adventure.
I thought they moved Zootopia to Animal Kingdom.
No, when we saw them, they were not too far away from the Pixar Pier.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway,
did you see any Star Wars? Did you see any Star Wars junk?
At Disneyland, yeah, there's Star Wars stuff everywhere. Making it obvious.
Star Wars junk.
But in Japan, there was okay. In Japan, yes, Star Wars is hugely popular. When I went to
the expanded universe,
no.
It's all the canon stuff. I'm sorry.
Oh,
nobody likes expanded universe, John.
Plenty of people do.
Nobody likes it.
That's why we have a movement.
Nobody likes it.
I never knew it even existed. All I know is Star Wars ended all the way till 6. There were the prequels, and then there's like video games and stuff. That's all I knew about Star Wars.
But when I was in Japan, I did see a good mix of the new trilogy and the original trilogy stuff there. Not too much of the prequel trilogy, a little bit, but mostly whatever's current.
I will go there cosplay Kylo Ren.
There's prequel haters everywhere.
But I don't think that's what it is. When in Japan, when in all the stores, I didn't see too much anime related that were in syndication. It was all the latest anime stuff there.
How about Kingdom Hearts? How big is it over in Japan?
Big. There were advertisements
because 3's coming.
There were advertisements for it. Okay. There are advertisements for it everywhere.
Basically, Ray, this is how it works. Whatever's going on right now, it's in Japan. Once that trend is over, it's completely gone, and it goes to whatever trend is going on right now.
That's what I noticed in Japan. Everything was very trendy. When I did go to the anime shops, the anime that was being pushed and all the merchandise that was there were related to current anime.
Huh.
So you probably saw a lot of Love Live, a lot of.
Oh, there was a ton of love everywhere.
Especially since Sunshine's going to be over soon.
Love Live and Madoka Magica.
Oh, right, because they're going to be promoting
the
them. They're going to promote the new stuff since the anime's coming out.
And there was a lot of DBZ stuff because of DBZ Super and all.
Yeah,
that.
Dragon Ball Z Super.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's also Code Geass since the new season's coming out.
You know, I didn't see too much Code Geass stuff, but some advertisements for the newer stuff.
They're probably going to be going crazy for Index and Railgun.
Oh, they're gonna start since they announced new Index and new hell they announced they're gonna animate the Accelerator manga
the
spin-off.
Accelerator series, yeah, that looks cool.
There's a new manga coming out.
Scientific Accelerator.
There's a new manga coming out.
Yes, and
yes.
Oh yeah, going back to the Maid Cafe. But yeah, no, that was fun and it's too bad that dreary people just show up to see frilly butts over there, but you know.
There's no denying that.
I hate to say it, but it's true, and I don't like it because I'm a cosplayer myself, and there is a code of respect.
Why do you think there's a declining birth rate over there?
I didn't hear anything about that when I was there.
Be glad.
Huh.
But, you know, to be honest, I didn't hear anything about it, and I didn't hear anybody complain about it when I talked to them, so it was whatever. But yeah, the Maid Cafe was lots of fun. They make you do these cute little chants when you when you get your food, and then when you're done, they give you a souvenir, and then you have to pay it, and then they give you a chance to take a picture, and I did all those things. When the maid who was serving me was handling my chibi Miku, in the most adorable voice, she said, "Is that your waifu?" I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Did you say yes?
No, and then
You suck.
wait. Carlo,
Oh god.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can say that now. But anyway, but no, and the cutest thing was that when she was looking at my Miku, I have an American flag pin on her, and she's like, "Oh, America Miku desu?" I thought I was gonna die of diabetes. And then I said, "Yes." Far away, and she started giggling, and then she says, "Okay, so not your waifu, is that your girlfriend?"
Yeah.
I said no, Tomogachi desu, and then said, "Oh, okay." but yeah, but no, that it was a really cutesy experience. You should, if you're an anime fan or whatever, or if you're a fan of their subculture, just try it out. But just be respectful. Don't take pictures of them, especially on the street. When I was there, I saw an Italian sister and sister over there, and they were trying to take photos of the maids. And I told them, "Hey, you know, yeah, they don't like photos of them being taken because you have to pay for it. That's how they make their living." But they did ask, "Oh, can we take pictures of you?" "Yeah, sure, why not? I don't have anything to lose, so here you go." So I did my.
You smell Italian nuns there?
What?
What?
You smell Italian nuns there or something?
No, they weren't.
Clean the corn out of your ear.
Ryan, they weren't nuns. They were just Italian ladies. One of them was from Tuscany.
Sorry, I said like Cistercian or something. I don't know, kind of like. Never mind. Sorry,
No,
I have corn in my ears.
But no, they tried to take pictures of them, and they understood when I told them in English they don't like it because that's how they make their living. You have to go up and pay for it at the cafe. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was nice.
Anyway, maids are cool over there. If we go to the cafes, just be respectful, follow the rules at the cafe, and and just have a good time doing the little cute little chants, and just be careful not to die of diabetes when you're there. That's all. As far as the and when I walked into all the stores dressed as Miku, it was just funny to hear them. They were all like excited, like, "Oh my god, it's Miku!" but yeah, it made their day.
That's amazing.
So yeah, yes, there is cosplay over there. You can do it, and when you do it, they appreciate it greatly.
So you could just like get up one day and just be like, I'm going to do cosplay, and just walk around, and people appreciate it.
Yeah.
In the specific
yeah, in the specific areas in Akihabara, that's where you want to go if you're going to cosplay, because that Akihabara is the nerd anime video game geek central. Because Tokyo is and the people there are very time and place sort of thing. So when you're in Akihabara, you do all the nerdy stuff, but when you're in another city, you do certain things. For example, I stayed in Ryogoku. That's where all the sumo stuff is. That's where all the sumo culture is. So I visit. So yeah. What I take
What does that even mean?
But yeah, I stayed in the sumo. It doesn't mean anything. I stayed in the sumo part of town, and I went to the sumo museum. I couldn't take any photos of anything in there, fortunately. But all of the restaurants.
They're very particular about pictures in Japan.
Yes, I was about to say that.
Just run up and start taking pictures of stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that in a bit. But yeah, no, you certain places you just can't do that. But when I was there in that sumo part of town, there was a lot of restaurants that catered to sumo type food called chunko. So there was a chunko restaurant in every single corner there, because they expect sumo.
I imagine it's very high calorie and stuff like that.
Extremely, it's like 3,000 calories.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
no problem for me.
Yeah. So anyway, that was Ryogoku. It was very sumo oriented. When you want sumo, you go to that part of town, and that part of town only. The other rumor that I disparage is that Japan was not expensive at all. I only spent about $600 in walking around money and transportation, including drinks.
So it's pretty cheap then.
Oh, heck yeah. A bowl of ramen that you would get at Maruya in Little Tokyo. What is it, like $12, $14? What is it, Will?
It's about $9 after it's about $10 after tax.
Okay, after tax. Okay, and then is that excluding the add-ons?
Oh yeah, any add-ons is extra.
Okay, so let's say with add-ons and tax, about $14. Then you got a tip. I got the same exact bowl of ramen with add-ons for $5.
Score.
Shut up! What?
I am not shutting up. That is true.
That is awesome.
Yeah, everything, all the food over there is like really cheap, and you know
they don't even tax it.
Well, there is applied tax, but it depends on certain items. But it was just really inexpensive. And at the 7-Eleven, even that was cheap. My breakfast.
God damn!
Okay.
I can only imagine the ranch there.
By the way, the 7-Eleven is awesome. They have so much better food than they have at the 7-Elevens here in this country. The only thing.
One of the things I had to laugh at is, you know Gunpla, right?
Yeah.
Gundam models and everything. Do you know that there's actually exclusive 7-Eleven Gundams?
There is, there is, but I didn't see it.
I'm not joking. That's a real thing. There's exclusive
John, I would have bought
livery.
John, I would have bought you one as a souvenir, but they didn't have it.
Wait, what? Yeah. Have what?
7-Eleven themed Gundams.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. The 7-Eleven.
That's a real thing.
The only disappointing thing with the 7-Eleven, no Slurpee.
Oh,
yeah.
Slurpees are like the best part.
I know.
Blasphemy.
I know. Slurpees are love. Slurpees are life.
They don't have
that's like Slurpees are like the definition of 7-Eleven. You can't
But
have.
I know, but that's here. But over there, Slurpees are but over there, the 7-Eleven is the definition of everything. That's your local market. You're gonna go there, buy whatever it is you need. When I was there, the food there,
Pretty cool.
okay, Japan's not a breakfast country. You can't go to a restaurant early in the morning and get like bacon and eggs or nothing like that. You're kind of screwed. So what
So there's no McDonald's. You can't get like, I'm gonna get a breakfast sandwich.
Yes,
Well,
McDonald's.
let me put it
is
this way:
okay,
a traditional Japanese
McDonald's,
breakfast is
miso
rice
soup
and fish
and miso soup.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, McDonald's over there, yes, they did serve breakfast. But what was funny is that you know how when I was at the McDonald's, Maku Dononado. All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, when you go to the McDonald's there, when you know how we have the digital menus that are above the counter and all that.
Yeah.
Over there, when they flip between the breakfast menu and the lunch menu, they literally flip it. They just roll it over, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Japan.
That's another thing.
Japan is surprisingly very low tech. It's not any more advanced than what we have here. They just do things differently.
And
Like the whole,
You
like the
say
whole-
that, yet if you ever go to a drive-through, a fast food drive-through in the United States, you'll see the big menus. If you ever get a chance as you're moving down the drive-through, back and look at the back side. It's the same thing. They just rotate the menu when it comes from breakfast to lunch.
exactly. But
Huh.
no, but not the McDonald's I've been to lately because they have digital screens now.
Or
Some
you
of them.
get smart
Part of the
and you go like Jack in the Box and just serve breakfast all day.
Jack in the Coke.
Yeah, just have one menu. That's it. It's simple. But no, that's how Japan flips between the breakfast menu and the lunch menu. It's just a big rolling sign. They just roll it over, and then it's lunchtime all of a sudden. But the breakfast at 7-Eleven, that's the only place where you can get breakfast. So I went there the night before, and when I bought it, I spent less than $5 for breakfast too.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like I bought a McMuffin there or whatever the equivalent is. It only cost me like 150 yen, and
Which is how much in US dollars?
that's like $1.80, $1.90, something like that.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's nothing.
yeah, and then my apple juice was only like 120 yen, which is like
Pretty
$1,
cheap.
and it was
That's
awesome apple juice. I've never had apple juice that good, aside from what's it called, Law's coffee shop.
That's one of the things I really love about Japan. Even though I've never been there, a lot of their stuff is top-notch quality.
Yes, everything was very good in quality over there. I didn't go to one bad restaurant. They were all good. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about Japan and their technology, it's surprisingly very low tech. They have the best way to put it is that they have everything that we have. They just do it different. Like all the cities, like when I was in Ginza and when I was even my own city I was staying in, Ryogoku, everything is like lit up like Las Vegas. Because it's so commercial. They want people to be able to see their signs and go in there and shop and stay there and spend their money. Like I said, Vegas is the best example to how you see the city lit up for those purposes. They just want to be able to commercialize everything. When they see everything's lit up, it's very welcoming.
Huh.
So
now, on a railroad related, what did you see over there in terms of rail?
Everything was electrified. Most things were electrified in that country. Everything, even the Shinkansen, that uses overhead electricity. It has an overhead catenary.
So all electric trains then.
So no diesel or anything like that?
There is some. There's some diesel. There's some switchers that change lines every now and then, but almost the whole country, all their rail lines are electrified. Also,
the DD10, that's one.
Also, not only is it mostly electrified, but everything there, all the surface rail, it's all narrow gauge.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
3
The
foot
Shinkansen's
6 inch.
full gauge.
Yeah, the Shinkansen is the Shinkansen. That's 4 foot 8.5 though.
But
But yeah,
everything else is narrow.
going to the Shinkansen, I did get a chance to ride it. And before I got on the train, this goes into the low tech part. When I bought the ticket, like there was nothing fancy about it. I just walked up to the booth with the guy selling it, and like he looked at his chart that was on a paper clipboard, and then he wrote a couple things down, and then he punched the keys on a solar powered calculator, and he's like, "This is what you owe." I was like, "Wait, that's it? You don't have a computer or something?" He didn't have a computer or anything when he was taking my ticket. Nothing. This is so low tech for the Shinkansen.
Because one of the Japanese philosophies is if something works, why change it?
Yeah. So this guy,
America.
Love that philosophy.
So yeah, this guy just like handwrit everything down, and then he calculated on a calculator, and then I paid the money, and then you used a little printer to give me my ticket.
Amazing.
But when I got on the Shinkansen, oh my god, the ride was so smooth. It was smoother than the plane ride. Yeah,
Wow.
it was. You didn't feel anything, and everything that you saw was just a blur next to you. You can only see like the city.
Imagine it's
in
a
the
lot
background.
like the TGV in France.
It's not that different, but what I
Which I've
did
been
notice that the Shinkansen, most of it is channeled. Like there's either fencing that blocks off everything, or it's like, or it's put in a trench somewhere in the earth, and all the rail lines are just all secured for it. You can't really like just stroll onto their tracks willy-nilly if you're an outside pedestrian. It's very safe. But I was able to see like the cities and towns passing by. That was at 185 miles an hour, whatever. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
As far as the trains, they're municipal rail stations. Even the one I was in, Ryogoku, they're busier than LAUPT or Union Station for the layman's guys. There was more people using them and getting on trains and running to them and going back and forth than anywhere that I've ever seen. They're just so busy. And this is just a small municipal rail station. The LA Union Station is a hub, which you would expect to be a whole lot busier, but it's not. In Japan, even the smallest stations, there's always a ton of people.
Huh.
Well, you see, but that's the thing, though, because you go to Union Station over here, and there's only a select collection of destinations that you can go to from Union Station. You have very few lines that actually leave there, whereas Tokyo is, or that whole country in general, is based around rail.
It's
They
railed.
are
It's
very
railed.
highly dependent because it's very efficient.
Right, the whole country is railed, essentially.
You almost don't even have to drive in Tokyo because
No,
the
you-
transportation gets you everywhere.
No, you don't. But truth be told, I did have to drive some places. After about 8 o'clock. No. After midnight, the train shut down for the night. So I had to take a taxi back. Even that wasn't that expensive. I paid only a fraction for the taxi of what you would pay in LA.
That's insane.
Yeah, Japan's really cheap, guys. And
I actually have a question that just crossed my mind.
Grabbers over there.
What's that?
I just thought of another question about over there.
What?
Does Uber/Lyft exist over there?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
That is a good question, but I don't know. You don't even need it. The taxi drivers are really good, and they're really inexpensive and effective. By the way, the 2 taxis that I took, the guys who drove them, operated those damn things like brain surgeons. I've never seen I've never seen such good driving before, ever.
Oh, by the way, they actually don't have an Uber. They have their own version of Uber called Japan.
It's called
Japan
taxi. It's take the taxi. You don't need it.
It's called Japan. It's Japan Taxi. That's literally what it is.
Yeah. So yeah, just take the taxi. It's so easy.
Wow.
Here's my ultimate question.
Okay.
Over there, their tests are a lot complicated.
Here's my ultimate question.
What's that?
Did you run into any furries or bronies there?
I did
Probably not.
Oh.
I did not. They're very rare. Very.
You would think with the popularity of MLP that you would see a lot of bronies.
Well,
you know what? When I was in Akihabara, I didn't see a single pony-related thing there.
You probably would only
seriously?
You'd probably only see it back in 2012, 2013 when they had the official Japanese dubbing. But then after that, it died down. So if you went there around like 2012, 2013, you would see it, but then it's completely gone over there.
Yeah.
Pony Japan's very, very little to nothing. It's only heavily here in America, Europe, France, all the other stuff that's not Asian.
Yeah, I didn't see too much pony-related things at all.
The only thing you'll see is when they have the Japanese, that one official Japanese pony convention they always have, but that's about it.
For PonyCon. Actually, I actually just heard a little something about that convention, actually. There's rumors are going around, but on Twitter, both the Twitter account and the Facebook account for PonyCon Japan are no more. They don't exist.
They probably maybe they're shutting down. I don't.
Maybe nobody knows.
Well, but, I didn't see any pony related stuff because in Akihabara you're only seeing the most popular stuff at the time.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball Super, and One Piece, and
and as far as the Gundam fans, I did see a ton of Gundam models, but most of them are all current.
Yeah. Is Bleach still relevant in Japan?
I did see a few Bleach stuff over there, but not too much because again,
it's over.
It's in syndication. But what I'm saying is
their live action stuff. But it's
what I'm saying is generally you just saw only the newest stuff there.
Yeah.
So if you want something of the current anime, you gotta get it now or pre-order it now because once that is done, it's done, and move on to the next stuff.
Yeah, figure rave. All right, so to put it in your terms, this is how it would be. Picture, let's say, for instance, your favorite Don Bluth film. Okay.
Secret of Nim.
Yeah, let's put that.
Secret of Nim. That's fine.
Okay, let's say. Okay, when did that come out?
Like 82.
82.
83.
Okay,
83.
So,
all right.
Pretty much, this is what probably would happen, okay? Is that movie comes out, movie's popular for like a year, 6 months.
Then
tops.
They move on.
They move on, forget about it.
Yeah.
It's like non-existent.
Oh, you mean like Disney did with Zootopia?
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Basically, unlike Japan, Disney, they still milk a lot of stuff currently, like how they continue Frozen and all that stuff.
I did see Frozen stuff in Japan.
It's a thing. Well, technically, it is valid because of Kingdom Hearts. Since Frozen's in Kingdom Hearts, it's valid.
Yeah.
Well, but sadly, no Zootopia stuff. Boo.
And there was a ton of Kingdom Hearts advertisements
because of 3 coming out in January.
Again, whatever's current is the most popular over there, and you'll see a ton of merchandise for. It's just like here.
They don't milk stuff as much as we do here. If once a thing is done, it's done, and they move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, but yeah. But going back to the rail lines over there, they're very efficient, very clean. When I was on the subway trains, they were spotless. I even saw them actually cleaning some of them after they were done running that particular car.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned that everybody was on their cell phones in the subway. Could the same for the Shinkansen, or was it standard that everybody did not use their phones on the Shinkansen?
Same.
Really? People
here's the thing, because people don't talk on their phones.
Yeah, they don't talk
messaging
on them,
and surfing the internet, that's fine.
Yes.
Talking on the phone is very disruptive. That's what's frowned upon. When you're sitting there having a conversation on the phone.
I'll be honest, that's frowned upon. That's frowned upon here too. When I'm on the subway train, I don't want to hear about some guy talking to his buddy about his divorce. That's sad.
That's depressing.
I know.
That's like me sitting next to Free Grave in the car and him talking about the expanded universe of Star Wars. Being sad about it.
That's just as sad.
That is sad.
No, not of
Quiet.
Star Wars. A Fortnite. Fortnite. That.
I
Oh
don't
god.
play
Good lord.
Fortnite.
Oh no.
Jeez.
I don't play that shitty game.
Why are we bringing this up?
Anyway,
don't know.
anyway, but yeah, no, nobody was talking on the phones on any of the trains. They were just on them, looking on them, or whatever.
Okay.
And this is both on the subway and surface rail. I did take a country rail line up into the Chichibu Mountain. By the way, that countryside was freaking beautiful. It was green everywhere.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you could tell that that's what inspired Pokemon, because when I arrived in the village of Chichibu, I swear to God, I was like in Kanto. I was in Viridian City or something like that.
Did it play the Pallet Town theme when you got off the train?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it did.
Now, okay, so I know you took the train up to BabsCon earlier this year.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've ever driven up the 5 past like
Past where it splits. I've never driven up the 5 past where it splits off to the 99.
Okay, so all right, now when we were driving up that way, pretty much by what you described is literally how that part of the freeway up there looks. So green, rolling hills.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
When you get up towards the Bay Area, towards Stockton, it just turns into this whole. It's incredible. It's like Windows XP. It's literally Windows XP up there.
Pretty
Like
much.
where the windmills are. Where the windmills are.
But no, that's not exactly what I saw, though. What I saw was that, yes, it was very green, but the mountains and everything were pretty intense, but they were just completely covered by trees everywhere. And it wasn't like a smooth rolling hills kind of thing. These were like mountains, and there was like trees everywhere. It was amazing.
So I probably had the better view, the better idea when I was living over by the Sierra Nevadas and used to go riding up and down those mountain roads.
No, not even that. Describe it. Honestly, I can't think of any particular area in the U.S. other than maybe somewhere like in Vermont or back east or in Ohio that would come close.
Okay,
to what
upstate New York.
Upstate New York, maybe, but yeah, there's.
Where you just start driving around. There's a lot of trees and.
But no, it was just so densely packed. All the vegetation. It's very difficult to describe and to associate it to any geographical locations in the U.S. But yeah, the closest I can think of is maybe upstate New York,
or maybe a cross, yeah.
But much greener.
Okay.
And when I was there, I got to eat lunch at a 200-year-old restaurant.
Ooh,
that's cool.
Yeah, and what was funny was that when I was there with Matsumoto-san, we were laughing at the stove because the stove was so small, and they said, "Hey, it's a caboose stove." Yeah, that's all the restaurant had to heat itself was just a little caboose stove, like out of cast iron.
Who's Matsumoto-san?
Matsumoto-san is an amazing individual who is most prominent brass collector in Japan, if not the world. By brass, I mean brass premium model trains. He's been collecting brass since the late 1960s, and over time he's accumulated a $5 million locomotive collection.
Nice.
Yeah,
I am not worthy.
Yeah, he has a whole office. He owns a building, and underneath the building he has his office. And it's wall to wall, just brass trains. And every section of the wall had well over, I don't know, $50,000 in brass.
Damn.
Hey,
Yeah.
On the next podcast, do you think you can send me a couple of photos of his collection?
I'm gonna post them on our Facebook page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Wait, question. Was everything literally brass? Or did he have like a mix of brass and like common stuff?
No plastic. Well, he did have some plastic. They were freight cars, but
Wait,
all the engine. all the engines were mostly brass.
Wait, another dumb question. Did you see any of your stuff there? After?
Yes. He had
Cool.
everything.
Wow. He had everything.
everything. He even had the Olympic Salt Lake units that Overland did some years back.
I wonder if he has anything lifelike.
But does he have the Lionel brass hybrid?
He only has the good stuff.
No Lionel. If he did have any larger, he had a $15,000 Orient Express collection. No, I think it was 20,000 and 32nd scale.
It pains me to ask, but how many UP 844 variants did he own?
I saw 2, but I think he had more.
Wow.
Because he said he has over 4,000 engines.
Ooh.
Does he have it like on an Excel spreadsheet so you just know what he has and stuff? I'd love it, God, because
Not at all.
What
Not
the
at all.
Or anything to document what he owns?
Not at all.
What does he have everything by memory?
By memory. By memory.
What the I lose track of like at least 10 if I don't write them down.
So after we went to his office, we went to his layout room, and his layout room is modeled after the American Southwest.
Wow.
With mesas and everything. And when I was in there, I honestly forgot I was in Japan. I thought I was in some guy's garage out here in the U.S. It was incredible. After he took us to his collection, he took us out for Kobe beef dinner with it was Korean barbecue style with the hot plate in the center, but they served us beef, and yeah, he was really nice. And the following and yeah, I had Kobe beef, and it was delicious. It was very rich though, very very rich, but delicious.
Sorry, go ahead.
And the following day, he took us to that's when he took us to the Chichibu Mountains. We were gonna rail fan and see some Japanese steam engines, but unbeknownst to us, there was no steam running.
Hey, fun fact. Wait.
Yeah.
The one time you go, there's no steam running. Also,
and here's what happened. We're all the way out in the sticks, and we took this train and this like 2-car train all the way up to the mountains to see the steam engine come in with its passenger car consist with its special train. And Matsumoto-san's like, oh no, wait, let's go over here. No, wait, over here's a better spot. All right, over here. Just like us. And he was trying to help me find a place to set up my camera. And we did. He's like, oh, this is perfect. And I set up my camera, and then as soon as its scheduled train comes by, it's an electric engine pulling it. And I was trolled so bad.
One time you go.
Yeah, and then what was funny was Matsumoto-san's reaction. He's like, oh, no, Steve! So yeah, he was a railroad fan just like us.
That's amazing.
By the way, the whole day he was wearing a 3751 shirt.
Son of a.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
I know.
By the
His
way,
reaction was just so disappointed and so sad. Just like us. Just like us. And
I got a rail fan with him. That'd be amazing.
We need to bring his honorable butt down here. Well, over here, the other side of the planet.
I already come over here so I could take him to Sugar Pine Railroad.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. He'd love Sugar Pine. He
does. He loves the West Side Lumber Company, and he loves their engine. So that's the place to see him.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, I have an off-topic announcement.
Okay.
For those who don't know, today is the UK anniversary of The Lion King.
Okay.
For all you Disney fans out there.
Random. Anyway.
Okay.
Hey. All right. So before we continue so much with that, there's a small, quick thing that I'd like to say.
Okay.
That me and Mecha did today. We went ahead and actually did some filming for the first pilot episode for High Octane.
Oh shoot! It's finally becoming a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did some episode filming at the Orange County Auto Show today.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
In fact, I actually got a couple of pictures that I would like to show from. There's only 6 of them, and 2 short videos. Well, they're in the streaming software, but here they are.
You did decide on High Octane rather than the alternative.
I'm gonna do that alternative as something else. That'll be different. But
Say
anyway,
the name
here's
again, I
some
forgot.
of the photos. Here's the first one. This is the I in the video you'll see the whole thing, but I literally lost myself seeing these vehicles are the Roadkill OG cars. This one here is the OG muscle truck, and I was gawking at it like crazy. I was gawking at it as much as Spiral Force was gawking at Big Boy.
Don't you start now. Don't you dare start.
Don't be the Big Boy.
And so, okay, and as for this is an interesting car. This is the only car that they've ever did as a project that had somebody threaten Hot Rod Magazine with a pipe bomb.
Oh,
this is a C4 Corvette. And it's like completely roll caged, it's rusted. It's like the back of it has the battery sitting next to the gas tank. And the rear end is held together with ratchet straps. It's just amazing. It's an amazing abomination, and I love it. This one here, this one's the Crusher Impala. Now,
post a picture in the chat. I want to see.
I will in a second. However, if you go to the YouTube channel, you can see it via computer if you have.
Oh, okay.
I see it now. Oh, nice.
Yeah. The Crusher Impala, a lot of people mistaking it for the Crusher Camaro, but it's not the Crusher Camaro. The reason why the Crusher Camaro got its name because they saved it from getting crushed back in the mid 80s. But this one here, the reason why the Impala is called the Crusher Camaro, engine out of that Camaro.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then this one here, this is a really interesting one. This here is a I think it's a 68 or a 69 Dodge Charger.
Come on, guys.
And this here, right here, has a Hellcat engine in it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Capisce or ridiculous? You know what that
now,
is?
Now, here's something right here, which is a little hard to see. But this was actually from this past Friday. Roadkill host David Freiberg had released a video for one of his T-shirt designs that was going to be going out pretty soon. He was going to stop selling them, and he hid this shirt that in the middle of the Rosamond Desert next to Mojave, and I was able to pinpoint exactly where this shirt was, and I was able to get it, and I was so excited because of this. I did something I normally never do, and this is going to be pretty crazy and outrageous. But here they are right here. I got it to a quick video.
Halfway to insanity.
That's where the fun begins.
Donut!
And here's the other one.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that. I've already gotten experience of being in that, just not at that location. A lot of fun being there as passenger.
Anyway.
But
Oh, I can see into infinity.
by the way, in the interim, in the chat, I posted some photos of what the Chichibu Mountains look like.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I felt like I was in Pokemon. Yeah, on that first picture, the one with the bus, that one place with the blue roof with the windows all around it that weren't all boarded up, that was the 200-year-old restaurant.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely an interesting.
That's really cool.
Wow.
There's a whole lot
I'm
more.
trying to place a place in the U.S. that looks like that.
There's nowhere.
Sure.
Obviously, we were happy to see her, but that meant a lot, man.
Oh, I'm sure.
Took care of that. Sorry.
Wait, what?
None. Continue. But yeah, that's actually pretty amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It really does look just like how it would be in
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
I wouldn't be surprised if they based. I wouldn't be surprised if they based Pilot Town in those locations. You know.
Well, the original Red and Blue is supposed to take place in the actual Kanto region, where Tokyo is near.
Huh.
Yeah. So, but yeah, going back to the trip to Japan there, the other thing that I experienced was the city where I took the Shinkansen to. It was Shizuoka City. That's where all the model manufacturers are. I don't know if Kyle
I know
is there.
Shizuoka.
Yeah, and when I was there,
Shizuoka's a cool area.
it was a very cool area, and we spent the day with my neighbor and her friend, and they were really nice people too. They took us around and they drove us around a bunch of cool places, bought us lunch and dinner. Yeah, I know. And I got to visit a 2,000-year-old shrine. I'll show you a picture.
Huh.
Yeah, I went to a 2,000-year-old shrine in Shizuoka. I don't know when the actual shrine was built, but the area where people would go to worship is over 2,000 years old. But what was crazy is that here, let me get the picture. So we're over here. Dang it.
And just a heads up for those of you who are just tuning in now, all these pictures from Buffer's trip to Japan will be posted to the Facebook and shared on the Twitter.
Yeah, I'll post them. But yeah, let me see. Where's that shrine? Okay. Okay. All right, there it is. But yeah, when I was there, all of that was right next to a city. But what was so weird was when I was visiting the shrine, it was dead quiet. All of the city and stuff that was going on in the afternoon at the same time, you couldn't hear any of that. You just heard, all you heard was just nature around it and the bugs. That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I honestly felt something when I was there. It, not to get into the whole, I'm not that much of a spiritual person myself, but what I could say was when I was there at that shrine, I felt at peace.
Nice.
Speaking of peace, so are those saunas, are those hot springs legit like they always exaggerate in anime?
Okay, let me get into the hot Yes, part of the trip was that when we were in the Chichibu Mountains, we did go to some hot springs, and I was terrified as shit. Pardon my French, but I was absolutely terrified because I'm not exactly, I don't exactly have a Hugh Jackman body or anything like that, so it was like, oh crap. And you know what? It was a full nude hot spring.
Ah, crap.
Well then.
So yeah, I was
Most of them are.
So yeah, I was walking around very embarrassed, and everybody else was naked. Everybody else was naked too. But I was like, oh God, why me, Lord? But and I went because I went because I didn't want to insult Matsumoto-san because he took us.
Ah, man, you have to.
Can I just say one thing about the hot springs?
Yes.
Okay.
In Zootopia, anyone can be anything. These guys, they be naked.
Okay, now now moving into reality. And
Okay, go
fiction.
back to
Anyway.
reality. Up there goes gravity.
Stop.
All right. But yeah, when I was in the hot springs, the healing properties are true. They really do fix you up. When I was in there, I had severe foot pain for the past 2 days because I was wearing those heavy Doc Martens boots that I like because it was very rainy the first 2 days. I thought they would come in handy. And they were part of my Miku cosplay, but they ended up messing up my feet because the inserts were worn out inside the shoe, inside the boot. By the way, funny story about those was that when I was with Matsumoto-san eating Wagyu beef, I had to take them off because it was one of those restaurants where you had to take your shoes off. So when I was putting them back on, I was struggling because it takes me like 5 minutes to get them on. And like the whole time, the owner of the restaurant was like staring at me like I was some sort of weirdo. And I was like, God damn it, why did I wear this? I was like, why did I wear these things? And the second night I was with Matsumoto-san, I was wearing like my regular dress shoes that I always wear. And I had to take them off again for that other restaurant. And he's like, oh, you. When he saw me with my regular shoes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not wearing those for the rest of the trip. Anyway, those boots screwed up my feet. And when I was in the hot springs for about an hour, when I got out, they were fine. I was ready to go. I didn't feel any pain at all. So, yeah, I can say that the hot springs, like, Matsumoto-san even told me that they were, like, loaded with mineral water and stuff like that. And the healing properties are true. They are, it's very relaxing, and it eases your muscles. And I guess that's what happened with my feet, and I got out. I was fine. And I even told Matsumoto-san that, Matsumoto-san, I have to be honest, we don't do this in the US that often. I was extremely embarrassed. But I'm glad you took me. He says, oh yes, you look much better now.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I had to lock my umbrella in like the special umbrella locker, and for the hot spring. And when I went to retrieve it, when we was done, I tried to unlock it, and I was like, Matsumoto-san, I forgot my number. And he's like, wait a minute, click, click, click. There it is. Like, how did you? And I'm like, no, wait. I'm like, how did you remember it? Oh, it was the number of my favorite locomotive.
That's holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh,
That's great.
That's amazing.
I gotta remember that.
By the way,
I want to salute that guy or shake his hand. I don't know. Whatever's more.
You're gonna want to, because the man owns.
The way you just mimicked it was just fucking funny.
Let me just go in and bow while I smash my head into the cement.
And by the way, I met his wife. His wife was cool as hell. And okay, you know how us train fans, we're gonna have a problem when we get older because wives don't like the hobby that much. This guy, yeah, we're gonna have a problem someday. For all of those who get married, we may run into that. We might. However, this man's wife bought him a full-size locomotive as a gift.
What? Wow.
Yeah,
like a legit
full-size locomotive. He owns a full-size locomotive. He keeps it at his buddy's apartment. It's so big.
Okay. You know, normally I would say wife her, But that's already been done. So what else is there?
Here, let me send you a picture. But yeah, this guy's wife owned bought him a full-size locomotive because it was going to be scrapped. It was a small German 010 narrow gauge engine. It was a German built engine for the Japanese.
Oh, okay. That's how it got there.
Yeah, that's how it got there.
010?
Something
No,
like
Did
that.
you just put 010 and small in the same sentence?
I don't think it's an 010.
That's what he said he had.
Huh.
I'll send a picture of it in a second.
Let's have tiny wheels.
They are tiny. It's a narrow gauge engine.
Yeah.
But it's a small 010. That, like, what?
Also,
yeah, because when I think of 10, I think of a 9000.
By the way, this locomotive was used by the Imperial Japanese Army to deliver supplies to the ships, then load them onto them.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So anyway, this guy didn't have any space for it, so his buddy who has an apartment lent him the whole front of his apartment so he can keep it there.
That must have been crazy to put that in there.
I don't know how he
hey,
did.
I don't have room for this thing. He's like, can I keep it at your place? Oh, sure, you can leave it in my place. What is it? Full-size locomotive?
So
What is it? What?
So yeah, this guy is probably the ultimate train fan in the world.
He's living the real fan dream.
Does he have like a documentary or something?
He's been on Monday Morning Express on BrassTrains.com a couple times, but
That
that's
makes
about
sense.
it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I would love to get at least a 30-minute interview with this man.
come with me to Japan, and I'll meet you. I'll introduce you.
Quick,
quick,
go fund me. Take the RRB to Japan.
I told you how cheap it was.
Yeah.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of railroad fascinations.
I don't know how to sing that in Japanese.
Is anybody going to turn all big and blue?
Okay, Mecha, now you have to write a full song parody to that.
In Japanese.
Actually sing it and make a video.
In Japanese.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I know
English
people
first, then Japanese later.
I know people that can help with the translation.
All right. Anyway, that was my adventure with Matsumoto.
I don't know
he
if
was
I
just
could
an incredible
mess up
man. Here, let me send you another picture of him when we were let me see. So I'll go over here. This was to put over here. Just do all that thing over there, and then I took too many photos.
hey, if I was there, I would be photos crazy trying to at least.
I must have taken about 500 photos of this place because, in addition to that, I went to a hobby show over there, and I've never seen a convention so well put together before. By the way, that reminds me.
They have conventions down to a science in Japan because that's how they market a lot of their stuff.
It was, and the Tamiya booth was so big at the convention that they had a walkway, like a designated walkway to pass through it.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, there's me, Mike, and Matsumoto-san making dinner.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Just a awesome guy. Awesome.
Okay, I have another question just crossed my mind.
Okay.
Does he have like a will or something? So when the day, God forbid, he passes himself, that all the strength to like go to someone or somewhere or something?
I don't know, and that's none of my business.
Yeah.
Because I can take care of the 4014 which is in there. I've
Oh yeah. By the way, I asked him if he has a Glacier Park Big Boy, the one that just came out from that Jimmy Booth did.
The one that hates curves.
The one that hates curves and was almost $4,000. Yeah.
Yes.
I told him, hey, I have one. Did you get one, Matsumoto-san? No, I have too many big boys in my collection.
I can take care of it for you. I can light the load for you, please.
Big boy is overrated. I'm saying it right now.
That's basically what he said.
God damn.
Wow.
By the way, that following evening, I met up with my friend in Ginza. That was a really happening part of town at night. There's its direct competitor is Shinjuku with all the with all the bars and places where all the young people congregate.
Yeah, Shinjuku's like the part of Tokyo that everybody knows
That's
about.
the party town, and Ginza to some extent, because that's where I went and I met up with another brass model manufacturer. His name is Jie Lu. He's Chinese. He's actually based out of Canada, and he owns Eisenbahn Canada.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he took me to dinner there, and we had this whole plate of assorted Japanese beef. And when he ordered it, the waiters actually came out and were playing traditional Japanese drums just for this giant platter of beef. And and then we also had this imported we also had this imported peach wine. It was the most delicious wine I've ever had. And it cost him less than $200.
Wow.
Yeah.
For all that.
Yeah. It was a huge platter.
I mean, that like here you spend at least maybe
you would spend
$300
or $400 in LA for what you got over there. So that even the luxury food over there isn't that expensive.
Wow.
Yeah, here let me see if I have a photo of that. But yeah, anyway, this is me and Jelu. The waiter there was super cool. He was speaking to us in English, and he was telling me how much he loves Metallica and Slayer. So when he handed us all of the meat, I told him, "Kill them all," and he loved that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So yeah, Jay Lu really spoiled me with this huge dinner, and then when I was done, I ended up buying another brass model. Yeah, I bought a brass model off of him when I was there. I figured, what the hell? So I bought this 1860s style German steam locomotive. Here you go. It's a Class B Württemberg Railways 440 that he did for his company. And the boiler jacket is supposed to be Russian iron, and he said that he painted it with platinum.
Wow. How?
Yeah, the boiler jacket has a chemical metallic mixture with platinum in it.
So it's like a mild plating, like paint.
Pretty much.
That's
so
incredible.
So that was probably my most expensive purchase when I was in Japan. I don't have it yet because we haven't initiated the transaction. He's in Vietnam right now at the moment. So yeah, he's on vacation with his wife. So when he gets back, I'm gonna have him ship it to me or whatever. So
that's nice.
Anyway, by the way, yeah.
What's the topic for next?
The next topic, if and when Alex is finished with his stories,
almost.
After that would be the drunken stupors, because I already mentioned the two things on my end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. As for the rest of Tokyo, by the way, all the anime stuff, going into how much cheaper it is, everything is anywhere between 15 to sometimes even 20% less than what you would pay for it here in Little Tokyo.
Sounds about right.
Wow.
John, you know that the real grade Sazabi that just came out, the Gundam model, I only paid 3,400 yen for it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, here you would find it for like over
like almost 60. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I got it for
$30-something over here.
So yeah, I bought so much stuff over there. I bought half of the Imperial Japanese Navy. I bought like 6 ships or about 7 ships that you can't find over here for like a fraction of what you'd find them for.
That's
I was so bad that I had to buy a new piece of luggage just to take them home.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus, my other bag broke anyway, so that's the end of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All is fair in love and war.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right saying.
By the way,
close enough.
All's fair when buying Gundams.
Going back to the nature side of Japan, when I was in Shizuoka, we went to this area called Miho Beach. I've never seen a beach so clean before. There was almost no trash anywhere. Unlike
America,
here.
learn from them.
I know. Just don't throw your trash in the beach, fellas. But yeah, and what was weird about it was the sand
Don't
was
tell me
just.
what to do. You're not my supervisor.
What was weird was just the sand was just black.
Isn't it because of volcanic ash?
Volcanic,
No.
yeah.
Well, it's part of that. It's also because some of it's crushed coal. Yeah.
I don't know about that. I know that it's
Coral.
volcanic.
There's a high carbon content.
I do have one last question about Japan.
Okay.
I think it was.
There's a
did you
picture of the beach, right? By the way.
Did you ever go to Tokyo?
He was in Tokyo.
Oh yeah. Well, my question is it still suffering from pollution from?
No, you're thinking of Fukushima.
That's Fukushima.
That's Fukushima. That's like 200 miles away from where I was staying.
And that's like completely like closed off.
Yeah, like Chernobyl.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a picture of the beach that I sent with Mount Fuji in the distance.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
so
amazing.
that's what they have. So that's what they have the Sakura diet.
Hey,
Props to anybody who gets the reference.
you remember Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan? How he would scoop up some of the sand and put it in his bag.
I thought about that, but I didn't have a container to do that.
I figure when I go, I want to do that and take a little bit and label it.
Yeah.
Just so that I can remember it.
Yeah. I didn't have a small enough. I didn't have a container to do that, but I did think about taking some of it back. But at the same time, I thought about it. I was like, I don't see anybody else doing that, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, figure.
Well,
figure
I'd
for
imagine
me.
in Japan, them watching you bag sand would probably be a little weird.
Yeah.
It's weirder than the stuff that already goes over there.
Again, when in Rome, or in this case, Tokyo.
We'll figure if I was to do it, I'd probably do it a little more inconspicuous, One slip and just scoop, close, pocket.
Hey, Will, did you get the sand for your collection yet? No? Okay.
At the same time, that something like that, if they did see you, something like that may translate into something that would be generally disrespectful. I don't know. You never know.
Yeah.
My point is that I didn't see anybody else doing that for a reason. So.
I mean, still, it's kind of a trip to see the other side of the Pacific Ocean, right?
Yeah.
Yep, the mighty Pacific.
Yeah, yeah. I did get invited back to Japan, so I'll be going. But this time I'm going to be looking at all the World War II related stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, but about all of this with Japan, I am going to be putting together like the video, all the train stuff that I saw there, like at the train show, all the Kato and Tomic stuff, all the full-size stuff, everything that I saw, and I'll be posting it on the Railroad Bronies YouTube video channel.
Excellent.
I finally fixed the driver in my brother's laptop, so I can do it now.
Yay.
Yeah, and
Excellent.
the only thing I couldn't do was that going into the whole camera thing, you can't railfan on the platforms over there, not with a telephoto lens or anything like that with a tripod. You just can't. There was signs that said that you can't do that.
What if it's just like a regular DSLR camera you have around your neck?
Yeah, that's what I did. I used my phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically nothing tripod stuff.
Yeah, nothing with the tripod. But
Just whatever's hanging on your neck like
Well,
a
I'd
DSLR.
imagine there's probably a way if you go through the railroad and you get like permission, they might.
But even
find a way
then,
to
you
allow
don't.
it.
Even then, you still don't want to do it on the platform because you're an inconvenience to their passengers. It's so busy.
True.
Yeah.
People pour out of the trains, which were huge, by the way. The regular municipal train was like over 20 cars long.
Yeah, but look at the extent of what they're used. They have a 20-car long train.
It was completely
every
full.
single one of them.
Completely
Yeah,
full.
every single one of them is going to be full.
Yep.
Yeah.
And another cool thing I noticed about their platforms is that some of the subway lines and all that, they have these barriers that open and close, so that way you can't fall onto the platform even if you tried. They open when the train arrives.
France too. There's some of the newer subways in France that when you're down on the platform, there's literally like a glass wall with sliding doors, like the front doors to a store. And when the train comes in, the doors line up perfectly with the glass doors, and they open in tandem.
Yeah,
so
these are yeah, exactly.
As the train doors open, the glass doors open.
Yeah,
so
these
the
are
only
like
way to access the train doors is when there's a train there.
exactly, and they only open when the train arrived, and these were like made out of like a painted or like a cream colored heavy acrylic bulletproof type glass material, so you couldn't pass it.
Yeah,
but not
same
all
thing in France.
Not all the stations had this. Only some of the subway lines had it. But yeah.
The funny thing about the French trains that I've been on, the older subway cars, they actually have latches on the doors. So when the train stops, if you're the first person to that door, you have to actually physically click the latch, and then that door will open. And then you can board and unboard the train. And it makes it so that all the doors don't wind up opening at the same time.
I didn't see that over there. But my most interesting experience on a train was the station that I forgot. I was like one station away from where I was staying in Ryogoku, but this lady, she looked like she was my age, and she was trying to get on the train, and the doors closed on her. But before they can fully close, I stopped them with my arm, and she got on before it crushed her, or closed on her, and then dragged her away with the train.
Yeah.
But and then when she got on, she actually bowed to me and told me "arigato gozaimasu," and that was the only conversation I ever had on a train.
Thank you for not allowing the train to kill me.
Basically.
And by the way, she did the long bow because she was thankful that she didn't get crushed. Yeah, but that was the most interesting and the shortest conversation I had on the train.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to bed. It was
All
a great conversation, great podcast. Let's do it again sometime. Laters.
See you around, dude.
See you around.
Okay, see you.
I guess that's all the stories I have for now. Other than the hobby show was really cool. Saw a lot of cool things, and I'll be posting videos of all the train related stuff, like I mentioned earlier from the show. Oh, by the way, another interesting thing that I saw was at the show, the brand girls, or the booth bunnies, or so what they're called, the showgirls that they have there. They're a thing.
Yeah.
And it's really creepy, but all the older guys with all their camera equipment crowd around them and just start taking a whole bunch of photos. It's just like an anime. That was the only yeah, that was like one of the closest anime related things that ended up being true. It was like those brand girls being hounded like for photos and stuff for all these weird guys with their cameras. I did take a few pictures of them myself, but I don't know what the other guys who took those pictures are gonna do with them. Have them.
Yeah, they'll probably be posted to places that shall not be named.
Yeah. or used for reasons that we shall not mention. So yeah, I did see that. That is a thing from anime, and it does happen in real life there.
God.
Yeah, but other than that, the girls there at the show were very nice. They're very cute though, but they were very nice, and I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. But yeah, other than that, that's
train of thought. Get it?
Yeah.
Pun
Oh,
Fun?
by the way, I survived a typhoon when I was there.
Oh yeah, the typhoon.
Yeah, we
Oh, you mean
survived.
the edge of the typhoon that you got?
Yep, I survived the typhoon. At first it started. It took a couple hours, and I got stranded too. The trains shut off at 8:00, so that's the second time I had to take a taxi back, and because they stopped running the trains after 8 due to the typhoon, and about 2 hours later it started hitting, and it was first just a little bit of wind and then the rain, and then an hour later the windows were just rattling. Like I've never been so scared in my entire life.
Jesus Christ.
It's kind of ironic because when you were going through that at that point, literally when you got back, San Diego was getting hit by an offshore hurricane coming up from Mexico.
I know. It's so weird. It's the season.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got hit by this typhoon, and the only damage that I saw was that a tree and a planter got blown off outside of my apartment where I was staying.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was it. But everything else was fine. So anyway, I survived a typhoon.
Yay!
That is
well,
my
the Japanese
typhoon
design their buildings to sustain certain things like that. They're seismically solid.
The building was shaking.
Ooh.
Yeah. There was a gentle sway to it. I could feel it, and I heard. And when the windows were rattling, I definitely heard that. That's. I fell asleep after a while because I took some pills, though. But what was weird about it, when the typhoon hit, the air was like really warm, very warm, and the following day it was very humid and very warm as well. And that just comes with the weather for those typhoons, I guess.
Well, yeah, because they're based off of warm air and warm water.
Yeah,
that's what drives them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, it's now around that time. It's now the Drunken Stupors.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much that's all I have for now. Maybe I'll come on with like a part 2 to my Japan adventure and talk more about that. But
so I have a little tiny announcement in the world of animation.
Okay.
I was just going to ask here, who is excited for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Don't know about it.
Spiders suck.
Yeah.
It's basically a Spider-Man movie where every single Spider-Man in different alternate dimensions meets each other.
I don't know anything about that.
It's been done.
However, there was a question in the streaming chat from somebody by the name of Dr. Crescent Moon. The question was, has any of us seen the show BoJack Horseman?
I never watched it.
One of the animators is a customer at the Whistle Stop. And he buys narrow gauge stuff. And not only does he buy narrow gauge, but he buys the 9mm narrow gauge that we're trying to build.
That's
funny.
I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, it's supposed to be a show for depressed furries.
Oh my god.
I've never seen it.
I'm just kidding.
It's a Netflix show, from my understanding.
Yes, it is.
What are you doing here? You know the reference? Come on, you haven't seen PONIES the Anthology.
No, you're Dirty Dan.
I say I'm Dirty Dan. Oof! I'm Dirty Dan.
No, I'm Dirty Dan.
I'm Dirty Dan.
No, you're Pinhead.
Who you calling Pinhead?
Which one of you is the real Dirty Dan?
Is it bad that I have no idea what the hell's going on right now?
That's SpongeBob.
You ate my last candy bar. Now I'm gonna starve.
Here, Patrick, you can just have mine.
I can explain.
My leg.
My leg.
My eyes.
All right. You will bring me back my crown in 5 days. You can do it in 3.
Speaking of the My Leg guy, there was a recent episode of SpongeBob that had an episode centered around that character. Apparently, he actually likes getting his leg hurt.
I saw that. I saw that. That was great. I love that.
He's a masochist.
He is a masochist. Throughout the entire episode, SpongeBob did everything and anything to try to keep hurting his leg, and then this guy would purposely put his leg out in front of a bus or under an anvil or something, or in some beast's mouth.
This is the reason why he did it. Because the reason he did that is because every time he would go to the hospital, there was a very cute nurse that he liked. That's why. And it turns out that at the end,
makes sense.
Yeah, the nurse, it was a big buff lady with the weird face. But at the end, they sang a song, and they made her hair really. It was a really corny ending, but that's why he always breaks his leg.
Corny does.
Then there's another episode where he says, "My leg!" And then SpongeBob says, "Shut up, Greg."
So that's his name.
Yeah.
Oh. I have a feeling that episode was particularly made for hardcore SpongeBob fans.
Yeah.
Particularly.
But we all get the reference, though. We all know who Greg is when he says, "My leg!"
Yeah.
We all know that guy.
A lot of us here grew up with that show.
Yeah.
Indeed.
My leg! My leg!
My leg!
SpongeBob! Why?
My leg!
My leg!
Anyway. Alright, well, I guess that's gonna do it.
Oh, we gotta keep going for the drunken stupors. It's not over yet. Rave Blitz. Do your impression of Nick Wilde. I want to do the Incredibles thing again, like we did last time.
Depends what you want me to say.
Like what we did last time. Remember the end of the Incredibles? You be a Frozo, and I'll be Judy Hopps as Black Lady. I'll be the white.
Where's my super suit?
I put it away.
That sounds nothing like Judy. That's the funny thing. No, I'm going to go one better, okay? I'm going to be the voice of Sora.
Okay.
So you're going to be Haley Joe Osment?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go. From the beginning.
Donald, where's my super suit?
I put it away.
What am I watching?
I need it.
You don't.
You need to know.
We're talking about the greater good.
No, we've been planning this dinner for 2 months.
I forget the rest of the time.
You actually got it completely.
You say, you tell me what my suit is, woman. We are talking about the greater good.
Greater good? I am your wife. You are the greatest good you're ever gonna get.
No, you gotta pronounce it at the very end. Greater good. I am your wife. I am the greater good you are ever gonna get.
You didn't sound like the creepy kid from AI.
Young guy.
Hi, Vegeta. Oh my God, it's a Vulpix. He says his name is Nick Wilde. Vegeta, can I catch it? Vegeta? Oh, please, can I catch it?
Do what you must.
Yay! Come here, Nick. I am gonna put you in this Pokeball, but not before I try my psychology on you.
While you're laughing, I uploaded a picture of me at the maid.
Why do I associate with the sky?
Can't lay a finger on my Vulpix. His name is Nick. I am going to pet him, and I am going to name him George.
George.
Hey, Vegeta, look at this fox. It's intelligent. It has clothes. And eating a rabbit. I can imagine how they would breed.
You, rabbit, fox, Vulpix, breed for us.
Oh my god.
Well, you heard it, Judy. We're going to have to breed for the sake of our Zootopia humanity. Zooanity. It's not humanity, it's fuck, they're animals.
Hey, Vegeta. Hey, check this out.
Everybody's naked in Zootopia.
Zootopia. What the fuck is this?
Oh my God, Nappa! How could you send me that?
Vegeta, that's not my website.
Look at it, Vegeta. It's beautiful.
And
Wow,
with
beautiful.
bleach.
Vegeta, what do you mean?
Wait, what's the one website that's like pretty much like a 4chan for furries of all the fan art and stuff for fan aid? I don't know.
I have no idea. Anyway.
Wait, Rave, do you know this website?
So it's
what?
Like for Furanity, there's like a furry website.
Are you talking about Fur Affinity?
What, 4chan?
No, not that one.
Vegeta,
you should see my OC.
Are you talking about Fur Affinity?
Thank you.
He might be. I don't know.
Thank you. That's what it is. Of course you'd know this. That's why I asked you this.
Anyway,
we all know the furry port 621. So
okay, so it is now 10:12 p.m.
Pacific time.
Yes, and it is now time to wrap up this episode of Parlor Card Podcast.
No,
I would like to thank
Okay, everybody. Okay, come on. Let Steam Tank speak. Come on. That's it. I am going to kick your ass.
Let him
eat this Butterfinger.
Let him talk before he turns Super Saiyan.
Did you know when I go Super Saiyan, I turn into Santa Claus?
Aren't you already Santa Claus with all that hair in your chin?
Merry Christmas with miners in pain.
So thank you all who have tuned into this silly podcast and for supporting us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are tuning into this after this has been posted onto YouTube, thank you for being a avid watcher. And
Did you say rabid watcher?
Avid watcher.
And if I may say, this was my first podcast as Buffershoft. Thank you very much for listening to my story about my travels. I'll have more another time. And on top of that, I already do have some future plans of some future destinations, which include Central Europe.
I got one for up north in Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, tell your friends, have them come on and introduce them to the podcast and the gang. Have them have some laughs.
Tell all your friends him and we is cool, or I should.
and for pictures of my travels, be sure and visit our Facebook page. They'll be posted there, along with my train compilation video of my tour of Japan. I'll be putting that video together shortly. It'll take me about a week or a little bit more.
And if anybody knows any good therapists, send me a PM because I'm gonna need one after this podcast.
I know a guy, Carlo. I'll give him your card.
Anyway, so
and a maid outfit.
So before we end the stream, I would like to say one thing. The high octane pilot should be going into editing rather soon, as soon as I can get the videos uploaded. And we would honestly love some feedback onto that. So any of you rail bronies out there who are interested in the cars, please give it a watch. It's a little rough around the edges right now, but it will be better over time.
Hashtag little rough.
Okay, very rough. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The lube.
All right, shush. Okay. So, all right. So give that a watch and an eye out for what comes out, and have a good night. Thank you for tuning
May the
in.
force be with you, everybody.
And
I am Garibalde.
Mita-san, konbanwa. Good night, everybody.